Is Morgan ready to do some Muay Thai on Ben?
Oh.
We'll talk about it. All right, so welcome back to the channel. My name is Kevin.
I'm Tarsha.
You have to remember who you were. And this is Conversations with the Crawleys.
Muay Thai.
This is Conversations with the Crawleys, where we have conversations about faith, family, relationships, and we do recaps, reviews, and commentary on some of our favorite shows. This one is all about the couple known as Morgan and Ben. Well, that's their names. From Married at First Sight Season 15. So if this is content that you enjoy, you know what to do. Hit the subscribe, hit the like, request notifications.
And share.
And we will see you in the comments. All right. So, yes, we are breaking these down. Rather than doing an hour video on all 5 couples, we're breaking them down so you can pick your couple that you like.
Pick them.
So this one is all about Morgan and Ben, and they got some chemistry coming at first.
Some chemistry.
So they are all, the guys have gone to a tequila tasting and they're hanging out. The ladies are all at brunch, hanging out. Bottomless mimosas, I guess, or whatever they were drinking. Looked like just some cranberry juice or something. But he's like, they haven't consummated yet. He's like, there's the attraction, but he's like, I'm looking forward to it because her friends have said she's a freak.
Oh, Ben can handle it. Oh, Ben can handle it.
He might do some Muay Thai in the bedroom on him too.
Okay.
But she tells him that on the other side of the beach, she tells the lady, she's like, yeah, we were progressing, but we had to get down here for brunch. And he was like wanting a quickie. She's like, no, not the first time.
He's like, we got 10 minutes, don't we?
She's like, no, you're going to need more than 10 minutes, bro.
He already acted like he an old married couple. I just need 10.
I just need 10. Give me 2.5. We'll be good.
2.5. No.
So she's like, no, especially not the first time. She's like, we're going to have to put in some work.
We have to put some work in.
But she is definitely attracted to him.
She keep talking about his body. What's it? My body. What's that song?
There's several. Your body's calling. There's
Keith Sweat. Who sings it? You know what I'm talking about?
Well, Keith Sweat don't sing. He kind of just moans everything.
It's something about
Keith body. Look, I love Keith. Oh yeah, my body all over your body.
That's
girl.
it. That's it.
Yeah.
That's all she could hear in her head. She's like, my husband's body is.
I thought she was talking about first. Who was it? R. Kelly. Your body's calling. Because that's what she's saying. We gotta go. Yeah, that's a whole other thing. All right, moving on. moving on. So they have dinner, and he starts off like, I wonder what the other couples are doing. She's like, you know what they're doing, but let's be worried about what we doing.
We try to catch up. You had COVID.
They done had a couple of days head start on us.
Let's enjoy our dinner.
And he talks about how he's close with Justin. Bruh, you got your woman in front of you. Stop talking about the 7'10" dude that's down the hallway.
You know, I can see that he always feels like he has a friendship with me.
Right.
So, but at the same time, you realize this person you really don't know. So all this time needs to really be concentrated on learning your spouse.
Exactly. So they do discuss falling in love and how that might work for them. Right. And then, especially because their honeymoon is cut short, is shorter than others. You know, they're already thinking about what life will be be for them when they get back to San Diego with work and what's happening on the weekends, what have you. Her job as a nurse, and then his thing, what he does. So they really are starting to have those conversations, because he did say that he wants to kind of get beyond the fluff. He wants to get to those deeper things to talk about. He talks about a great plan. He's talking about a 5-week plan of what that might look for them, as far as essentially like milestones and progress as they're moving forward. What's our plan for these next 5, 6, whatever weeks it may be, right? So they even talk about being careful with their words, which is a huge thing.
Yeah.
when you're arguing, especially when you're arguing.
Right. Right.
So she's feeling the sexual tension.
That's what she said. He keep it up.
So the next day, or at least when we're seeing what they're talking about
See
the next day,
next.
the previous day they had talked about, I guess, family and finances and what have you. And she mentioned that she hasn't had a relationship with her dad in several years,
Right.
which for him, he's like, I need a little clarity on that because for him, he doesn't understand that.
Because him and his family are very close.
Hmm.
His He does have a dad, even though he talks
But
about
he is
his
a mama
mom a
boy.
lot. But he shares that his family is close with his dad and his
Hmm.
mom. He has a mutual relationship with both.
Yeah. So, and I think that's wise anyway, because you do want
Yeah.
to, I mean, I think even for us, like the family dynamics, getting to see how your family connects and
Right.
operate versus mine, because our families kind of give language to who we are. And now we're trying to navigate taking two families and put them together. So I get why he's asking that, is because it's like, okay, is there something I need to know about with your family that maybe this is just how you all are across the board, or is this something that your dad did or didn't do or what have you, right?
And I think it's important also, though, that he be truthful how it makes him feel.
Yes.
Should he be say, "Oh, I feel scared that would something I do trigger something that your
That
dad
you're gonna shut
does?"
down on me or whatever, not talk to me for years.
Right.
Hmm.
Will we have a good close relationship, even though you don't have a close relationship with the first male in your life?
Hmm.
So I think if you put it in a way where you are fearful of some of the of what the I guess of the way she grew up or why
Hmm.
she's not having a relationship, the residue or however you want to
Hmm.
say it, about how her and her dad interacted,
Hmm.
how could that potentially scare you? How it affects your
Very much
relationship?
so. Very much so. So then he brings up her student debt. And he's like, I don't know, because I'm on this debt free thing, and I don't know what it's looking like with you know with Sally Mae over there. You kind of connected with her right now, and she's
Yeah.
like, I don't want your money, I don't want your investments. I'm not trying to do that. She's like, I just need you to be patient because you're at a place financially that I'm not at yet. She's like, I know nothing about crypto, I know nothing about investments, but I do want to get there. But and so then also the portion comes out because she is a nurse
She is a nurse.
and he feels that she lied to him because at first she said she was done with school and then she said, "Well, I've got one more class for my BSN." And he's like, "But you say you're a nurse. I worked in education for a few years. Okay, so you're RN. You can become an RN with a 2-year program, basically. Okay. Now, a lot of hospitals are making it and asking for RNs to get their BSN, which is the bachelor's degree in nursing.
Mm-hmm.
But you can be an RN and not have a bachelor's degree,
Mm-hmm.
which is her situation.
She's just
Now,
one
one
credit
credit
short.
away, one class
Yeah,
away,
one class away.
probably a practicum or whatever, right? And
Right.
if it was, especially if it was COVID and there's different things, I
Right.
know this because the school I was dealing with had a lot of these issues going on, especially with COVID, where students were not able to finish because of everything else that was going on with the
Right.
pandemic, right? But she has a desire also to move to nurse practitioner, which means that her
Make a
money's going to go
lot of
up.
money. Real up.
So she's at a place where she's working through getting to the place where her money is right. Her student loans could probably be taken care of, wiped out, what have you, especially depending upon where she may work. So he has an overreaction and accuses her essentially of lying. And then we find out that not only does he have that overreaction, but then he takes the information that she had asked to keep between them and shares it with Justin. Justin then shares it with his wife, and who knows where the information may have gone after that.
This is where I feel some people they miss the mark
Hmm.
because once they get financially free, they think this is a high percentage of everybody else. And the likelihood of finding someone where you match in everything and finances is very slim. So,
especially when we're talking like before the age of 30.
right.
Right.
So your mindset on that is that the person you're going to find is going to have everything you want and be debt free is a very, very slow percentage. So it would have been nice to have his mindset is like, babe, I got you. If you're willing to let me teach you how to work this, I think we can have you debt free and pay this cash.
Yep.
But when we want someone to come with the full package, and you got 80% of what I need, and you worried about the 5% that I still don't have for you.
Will it be 20% because 80 plus 20?
No, I'm just saying this is a small percentage of what she could be missing. There's other stuff she might be missing.
Yes.
Other than the finances.
Okay, gotcha.
But a great 80% of it he likes.
Yes.
So I am really concerned where these men are like, well, you should be able to come with that too. I want you to have all this, look great, and be debt free, but then you want her to be intelligent.
Right.
And hold a good paying job.
Yeah.
So we always have to take it down. Because when we're single-minded and we're single, we're in a bubble. We've been there. I was there. I'm single. And all my mindsets of my singleness does not translate well in marriage. Yep. FYI.
Yeah.
So I was like a little tick with him. I'm like, all those thoughts you had, you couldn't think of like, well, if my wife does have a lot of debt, I can help her. If I did it for myself, then I can do it for her.
And she's like, again, she's like, I don't need your money, but you can give her your insight. You could say, okay, you want to invest like I've invested. These are the things that I'm doing right now to invest. It's ways that he could have done that, right?
Yeah.
I think the other issue that she had, well, she does mention the other issue, was that from their conversation when they initially talked about it, he was like, he's good, and that they would discuss it at another point later on, just the two of them.
Let them enjoy the honeymoon.
Right. But he evidently was still feeling some kind of way. Instead of being authentic and being transparent and being real and saying, no, I still kind of feel a way, and wanting to maybe digress through it a little more, he takes that information to Justin.
Right.
Here's the thing about arguing. Here's the thing about disagreements, what have you. You have to be careful of where you take information, because one, not everybody can handle the information that you're taking them to.
Come on, preach it.
Sometimes you need to also take a breather yourself.
Correct.
Let it sit with you for a moment, and then have the conversation.
Right.
And then after you've had the conversation, if you still have continued to work with that person,
right,
and it's not going anywhere, then maybe you involve somebody else who can handle it.
I can handle it.
But Justin evidently couldn't handle it because Justin was too emotionally involved in Morgan and Ben's relationship. So he took it to Alexis, right? So that's the issue, is that Ben had to have enough presence of mind to say, we're going to enjoy our honeymoon. We still have more time that we can get through this, figure out what's going on with this, and then we can hash it out.
Well, and it's just with
emotional intelligence.
No, intellectuals, where they just overthink, and they're just thinking all the time, thinking. And so, granted, I understand that it's still on your mind. You're trying to get over it, but you can't get over it. But then you told her you're not going to talk about it. Well, so since I said I wasn't going to talk about her, even though she said not to mention it to nobody, I got to talk to somebody because I'm about to burst.
Listen, go talk to the bartender when you get another tequila tasting.
She can pick up an old mule or something.
But she's like, he violated her trust.
And right? I understand. I totally agree with her. And I think it was just made out more than what it was. Because I was trying to figure out, why is this a big deal?
Yeah.
And I know maybe she had put that she had finished when she really hadn't. But if you're majority done and it's a class, I feel like you could give a little on that.
Go ahead and finish that last class. Just get that receipt. It.
That's what it is.
That's what the diploma is. It is a receipt.
It's a receipt.
I got 2 receipts. I got 3 receipts.
You got 3 receipts.
Yeah.
And you still paying off. Still love you in a half.
Come on, Joe.
Mojo. Go ahead, cancel
And
that
yes,
student loan.
and yes, if you've already paid off your student loans, awesome.
Hey,
Praise God.
we're going to get
Amazing. One way or the other, I was getting paid off. I'm just asking Joe for a little help.
there. Okay.
Like he said he would. All right. So, and assist. All right. So, afterwards, she is talking a little later on. She's talking with Stasia and Lindy. And she is talking about this issue. And she's like, she wanted a husband that would be proud of her. But she feels put down because of finances and because of, she's not matching up exactly like he wanted as far as where she is. She's like, she feels that he expected her to be the perfect person. And I believe that's where he was at. He was expecting for them to check off all the boxes on everything that he needed in his 583 question questionnaire.
And I know Pastor Calvin had told him, you ain't getting everything, bro. You're not getting everything. That person does not exist. Any singles out there, whatever you have written down in your head, on your cell phone, in your journal, diary, on your mirror, on your back wall, on your kitchen counter, on your kitchen refrigerator, that person does not exist. You can pray for them. You can, whatever you do.
And if they do exist, the question is, are you the person that they're looking for?
Woo. I'm just saying. Everybody, no, there's no perfect person.
There isn't. There isn't. So
you ain't going to find it.
Now, we're all for having some non-negotiables, having some deal breakers, having some things that totally you can and cannot deal with. Absolutely.
That's totally
But if you have a list of 183 different things as far as height, complexion, color of teeth, shape of nose, what the music they listen to, a car they drive, whatever it may be, you got to give somewhere, right? You have to be open to whom you find. For example, we can point to Alexis and Justin as far as in this process of somebody who initially bypassed what she's now calling her greatest gift. There you go. Right. There you go. So Morgan and Ben they come to dinner with all the couples, right? And she's talking about how it's going to be interesting going home and having someone there, but with her life and being a nurse and what have you, she doesn't want to full-time take care of people all the time, where she's taking care of people at work and coming home and having to take care of someone else. She wants to have someone that takes care of themselves and knows how to handle things, what have you. Alexis and Justin over there doing their commentary on it, right?
Yeah, and I get what I think she was sharing, but people weren't getting what she was saying. And I hope this right, because it's my assumption, just like everybody was assuming with her as well, that because she has to cater to people who are laying in their deathbed or, they're sick and they're trying to get well, she has to bring them their food and she has to bring all this. So what I'm hearing her say is like, you're not going to get a home cooked meal every night.
Right.
I may not be willing to talk about a real major issue at the moment. Right. So it's finding out what that sweet spot is. Maybe he does the cooking, and again, maybe she takes care of the dishes, or give her an hour to decompress and then share. But I don't think she's just saying, I don't want to do anything for him.
Agreed. Yeah, I think the way she was phrasing it came off very negative and very I'm not going to do. It's a bunch of what I'm not going to do.
Right.
Is really what it came off as and what it was presented. So they're, again, recognizing that we're only getting a part of the conversation, which may have been longer.
It could have been.
But Ben does ask her, okay, what do you need? Right? Yes. Because part of it was coming off was like, I don't really need anybody and I don't want anybody to need me, but we're going to live together. So that's what caused Alexis and Justin.
Right.
Like, there we go. A roommate or a husband.
Right.
Right. So it's just a matter of how she was phrasing what we kind of understand what she was trying to say. She just wasn't saying it well. So she does say at the end that she is going to try to reciprocate with Ben and open up more, which is a start. That's a good thing, right?
It's a real good thing.
They're wrapping up, because the honeymoon's essentially over. She thinks the honeymoon went well. And she's like, you know what? I'm sticking around. because she knows that he cares. Just how he handled something didn't really sit well with her. And he apologizes. He knows he was wrong. He took responsibility,
He took ownership.
which is key, right?
And that is key. And building on that. And for them to learn how to stick in there when someone doesn't do what they like. Because she said in her past, if someone lost her trust, she was gone. Yeah. And she's never had to rebuild trust. And I'm like, oh my gosh. But again, she stopped talking to her dad too. Yeah. So I think.
And here's the thing. In every marriage, some level, I'm not saying the highest level, but some level of trust may be broken.
Sure.
Throughout your marriage, right?
Sure.
It is a question of how do you bounce back from that. I'm not saying that that trust is violated all the time, all the way up to everything, right?
Right.
But on some levels, the trust may be violated a little, but you have to also take into account, okay, what we have in our relationship is the history of all of the times where you were trustworthy and I was trustworthy. So that there is a violation, I'm going to take that and look at that and say, okay, but how can I look at the rest of the times that you've been trustworthy, right? For this couple, they don't necessarily have that because
they don't have that history.
They don't have the history or the proof of trust yet or trustworthiness yet.
Yeah, but again, you're indicating as well that you've never had to conquer this, and that's scary.
Yes.
Because when you have friendships, you sometimes lose trust in friendships. And again, you lose trust in family in general. But in all those instances, she's still indicating it's just cut off. Yeah. And that's not always the appropriate way to do it. And that's not healthy.
That's not healthy at all. All right. So listen, that's it for this couple. It looks like next week they do have a conversation with Pastor Cal. And he makes her cry. So he's doing some therapeutic, prophetic work probably in her life. All right. We'll see you next time. Again, check out the other videos for the other couples that we have. And we'll see you next time. Be blessed.
Bye.